Another big part of this game for the Irish to have
Notre Dame
success
got a
is
good
going to be
game.
the
I love
line.
this pick a lot.
It's going to be the linebackers. So early in the year, the linebackers were brutal, especially guys that were good last year. It was confusing how bad they were playing. But JD Bertrand, he led the team in tackles last year, and he's had a couple rough games, but he was excellent attacking downhill throughout, getting rid of those screens. And Marist, our Will Marist also played really good, was good playing the gap, and it avoided missed assignments, which was just brutal when he was missing their assignments. Other teams were having success, like Marshall. And he was a big part of that big-time turnover at the end of the game that set up the easy score. So really excited about him. I was really hoping that Marist would just be like a possible All-American, but at least he's playing better than we hoped. Have you watched Marist much, Jordan?
I've seen, I heard his name called, but obviously I'm in it when I'm watching. I've seen a decent amount of Notre Dame, so yeah, definitely have seen him a little bit. He kind of stands out.
Yeah,
Tony,
he had that
giving this a shout
big-time
out.
interception. All-star cast. Thank you very much, Tony. Like, I don't know, the red zone just really, that's the one thing that scares me about this game is that they've converted
Scares
all
me too.
20 other red zone trips into scores, and 17 out of those 20 red zone trips by opponents with touchdowns. So hopefully Al Golden can really scheme up a good plan to stop the red zone. Like, what's been the reason that Clemson's been missing the end zones? Is it DJ? Is it the running being stopped?
Well, I would say it's kind of hard because there's been a lot of when Clemson's offense has had sputters, it's kind of been it's kind of been a combination of just questionable play calling at times, but and also just kind of being situationally guys making uncharacteristic mistakes. So I think cutting those down is going to be key, because over the course of the season, Clemson's offense has been pretty productive, but they just had their moments, and it was really just the Syracuse game was really just a pretty was a pretty rough kind of fall, at least from how they played in their previous games. So hoping that's not a trend, and that's something that they correct.
Stack the box and force Pine to beat you without Mayer. And he thinks the same thing with ND. Stack the box and force DJ to beat us with his arm. He struggled to do that this season consistently. Do you think this is a good idea? Would you do this, Jordan? Or
I wouldn't. Well, from what I've watched, teams haven't really been loading the box a ton against Clemson. They've done stuff to they've blitzed him, but Clemson's actually graded. DJ's actually graded out really well against the blitz. I don't know if Clemson has seen as many loaded boxes. They've actually, I think they've seen a lot more, dropping guys into coverage, not giving, not giving up, big explosive plays, and daring Clemson to run. I think Syracuse did that at times last week, and Clemson took advantage. And especially when they weren't turning the ball over and just giving the ball to Will Shipley and Phil Maffa, it was a pretty good recipe for success. But it wouldn't surprise me if Notre Dame did that, because it would be something that Clemson actually hasn't really seen all that much. But DJ's been he's but it's going to be more, more run blitzes, not necessarily blitzing to to get sacks, but kind of just force DJ into some errant throws, because Clemson's offensive line has given him a lot of time this season, and in his best games, he's been, he's gotten a lot of time to throw. So it'll be interesting to see how they how Notre Dame and Al Golden schemes it up and how he decides to play it, because Clemson's offense has been really productive, but they haven't been very explosive, especially in the passing game. They don't really have a true number one wide receiver. They have some solid players and some real some talented freshmen that a lot of Clemson fans are excited about. Most notably, Antonio Williams, who's leading the team in receptions and yards right now. I think he's probably the toughest guy. I think he's the guy that Notre Dame probably should worry about the most in the wide receiver room. But all in all, the Clemson offense has not been a very explosive passing offense. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see how Al Golden decides to kind of scheme it up.
Yeah, I think Jalen Sneed probably will end up redshirting. I know Coach Freeman said he's still been developing a lot and is getting better, but I don't think he's going to get much playing this year. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do, because just looking at his tape, this guy looks like he can be a real difference maker. But I'm pretty sure, I know Prince Colley, the other big linebacker, has been getting playing time and he's been looking good. I mean, he's still learning, but I do think Jalen Sneed is going to end up redshirting. But have you seen much did you see his tape at all, and did you think that Clemson wanted him?
Wait, who?
Jalen Sneed. He was the best player.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure we offered him. I don't know if that was ever a recruitment that Clemson got far in. If I remember correctly, I don't. It's been a minute. But yeah, he was really good. Yeah, he was really good coming out. So,